And I went to the bathroom, and to pee, I was searching for that little organ.
Okay guys, we're back with another story time. Some of you guys requested another one, so here he is. I don't know what story he's gonna give us today, but let's just listen and learn. Introduce yourself.
My name is Errol. I'm McLaren. This might even help people who had lost touch with me, who might see this story, to reconnect. Anyway, it was 1984 when I arrived here in Canada. As you know, that should have been early spring, so to speak, and weather was changing, all new to me. Anyhow, shortly after I arrived, my friend spoke to his supervisor, and his supervisor said, well, hey, take the guy on, man. Because of course my friend was performing well at work, so I mean, not a friend should be able to perform the same. Anyhow, we started working. And where I was living at the time, there was about 3 different rides that I could get to go to work. But I had to walk a little distance. That was where I would at least take the bus. So, this morning in question, matter of fact, it started snowing the night before. Can't remember exactly what month it was, but I know it was the winter of 84, 85, right? And so, when I came out the morning, this was all new to me. This place was white, but yet I could see those little tracks that the snowplow that cleaned the sidewalk did. And so I was proceeding from the intersection of Jane and Finch to go out to North Finch, where I would get the bus. Now that's where the rides would have taken me from to work if I got them on time. Like I said, 3 rides. Well, apparently it snowed, and those drivers realized that they couldn't have left home the time they usually left home to get to work on time. So I was close to where I used to get picked up, and the last ride passed. I was waving, but nobody apparently could see me in that snow. Matter of fact, the snow was so high that I was walking on the north side of Finch Avenue. Finch Avenue was 2 lanes up, 2 down, and 1 lane was, matter of fact, let me say it was reduced to 2 lanes, 1 up, 1 down. I could not see the top of any bus or trailer passing while I was on the outside where the snowplow had cut the track for pedestrian. So you can imagine how high the snow was. Anyhow, I got there, North Finch and Finch Avenue, and I had to wait for a while. Whew, was I trembling? I was cold to the bone. And so a bus came, and I went on the bus. That was a little bit comforting. But then I get to where I need to connect the other bus, and then I was to wait even longer. By then my bones and everything was freezing. I took a decision, and that was a life and death decision, to return back to where I was coming from, because I could not, under that condition of my feeling, get to work and perform at any rate. So I decided to go back home. And I turned to travel south and North Finch, going back to where I came from. Reasonably long ride on the bus, maybe a little more than 1 kilometer. And I decided to walk that. It was bone-chilling cold. And as I was maybe about a chain or 2 down, you wouldn't believe, but I saw death staring me in the face. it seems as if it had come to the time when, Errol, this is when you're gonna die. And then I heard the horn of a truck honking. When I turned to look, it was a guy beckoning his hand to me. And I proceed towards the truck. I got there. I climbed the step, went up. This was one of these big trailers. The guy was coming out of the dock. Apparently, his load was ready. He hooked up and he was moving out. I could barely climb up in the cab of the truck. And I could barely say thank you because like I was frozen. And he said, "Where are you going?" And I pointed to the high-rise building. I could barely say thank you when I got in the truck. Anyhow, he proceeded. And as we got closer, I showed him the building. And this guy drove right inside the compound, right in front of the lobby. I don't know how we got the truck there, but I came out of the truck, and before I came out, I said, thank you very much. And I headed back in the apartment. Now, I was on the second floor. I got there, and I got in, barely could open the door with the key, and I got in. And I proceeded to the kitchen, and I switched on all 4 burners on the stove. I turned the oven on, put it at the high setting, and I opened the oven, put some water on to make some coffee, and I made the coffee, and almost every 5 minutes, it's like my body was thawing out, now go like an earthquake was shaking. Every such time I get this, I found myself thawing out, turning around, turn my back to the stove, and everything. So it happened that while my coffee was there, I can't take that hot coffee because all my lips and teeth, like mine was frozen. And so I wanted to go to the bathroom. And I went to the bathroom, and to pee, I was searching for that little organ, and I couldn't find it. I couldn't find that little organ until finally I pulled on it, and I peed. Now, my first experience, I started taking this thing serious. And when I looked in the mirror, I saw tears start rolling down my face. And I did cry. I cried. But as I was crying, I came to my senses. And I looked at myself in the mirror, and I went, you could cry as much as you want, because nobody brought you here under any duress. And you need to remember something, right? You born a man and you're gonna die one. And my tears stopped flowing. I wiped my eyes, and as I exited the bathroom, I started laughing. I was about maybe 2 or 3 doors down from the elevator. And had anyone been there waiting for the elevator, they could have heard me laughing from inside the apartment. And so that was one of my biggest episodes. That's an episode that I will never forget. I can tell you the story time and time again in the same fashion, because this was my first desperate experience. But let me share something with us. There are those of us who, at one time or another, experience a bit of racism, or whether you want to call it class prejudice or racism, whatever it might be. Let me tell you something. Around me, wherever and whenever I might be, I don't want to hear anybody open their mouth and tell me anything about white people this and white people that. Because you know what? It was a white man that beckoned me from that truck and put himself off route to drop me where I was going. I wish to God if this man could remember this story today, if he sees this video, let me tell you folks, and for all of us who, whether you want to be a most recent one who have migrated in recent times, never ever worry about cold weather. Don't let anybody frighten you, because you know what? If it didn't kill me because I did things foolishly, and by you hearing this story, you will be able to say, well then, I won't let it happen to me like him. Don't ever turn back, go forward. If I didn't turn back, I couldn't be telling you this story. So until my next story, walk good and take time.
That's your story time number 2, guys. Don't forget, like, share, comment, and also, guys, subscribe to our channel. We have so much things coming